Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actor Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastors Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.
Again, so my name is Ty Bolden, and this song, Without Your Love, is basically a song that is just came from the heart, that speaks on, I don't know where I would be really if I didn't know how much God loves me. So I'm just so grateful for his love. I'd be lost without it. Hey, Lord, your love is so complete, such a wonder. None can compete. Picks me up when I am low. Leads me on when I don't know where to go. Company when I'm alone. Now I'm feeling free, 'cause I'm alone shown. Can't compare just what I feel. All I know is that his love is real. I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I really don't know where I'd be without your love. Without your love. I don't know. I don't know where I'd be without your love. I can now rejoice and worship free for all the things that you've done for me. I'm stronger and wiser too, and I've got a smile every time I think of you. You're always around, no need to be down, and I'm telling everyone of this love I found. Can't describe it, and I can't hide it. I'm loving it, and I gotta show it. I really don't know. Really don't know. I don't know where I'd be without your love. I don't know. Lord, I don't know where I'd be without your love. I really don't know. I can't live. I can't live without where I'd be without your love. Your love. Where I'd be without your love. Without your love. I can't live. I can't give, no. I wouldn't have no peace. I wouldn't have no hope without your love. Without your love.
Welcome to My Journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts that God has given us Thank you all so much for joining us. We are here on location in Maryland for this episode, and I'm so excited to be bringing this episode to you. And I also want to give a shout out, much love to our underwriters and supporters of my journey with Paula G. Well, you know, each episode I open with a jewel from one of the gems on this journey. And today's jewel comes from the gem of First Lady Marcia Kelly, and she shares Philippians 4 and 6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And I hope that encouraged someone. I know that encouraged someone. Whatever it is that you're going through in life, present your petitions to God, and He will incline His ear and meet you at your point of need. Today, I am so honored to have this lady joining me today. She is Ms. Edith Hines. She is a Gold Star mom. She's an author. She's a motivational speaker. She's a motivational speaker to me. She's a poet, and she's here today to share her journey of being a Gold Star mom, how she's kept the legacy of her son alive, and how she is utilizing her gifts that God has given her. And I thank you for joining us today. You all right today?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
And you know, we have to pause because you're, you know, if y'all ever want to know what a queen looks like, right here. This is queen status right here. So you all better take some notes. You look absolutely beautiful
Well,
today.
so do you. You are the princess.
Well, I'm trying to keep up with you. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. So share with the audience a bit, because some of our audience members are not familiar with Gold Star moms and who a Gold Star mom is. So share a bit of who a Gold Star mom is and how you became a Gold Star mom.
It's so surprising that so many people don't know what a Gold Star mother is. Even in the hospital, the doctors and the nurses, I just cry out to them what a Gold Star mother is. A Gold Star mother is a mother that has lost her son or daughter in the service, serving their country. And she is very, very special because she's lost a son or daughter.
Child,
And I cried loud, you know, because it's very important that mother feels the heart of her child, you know. And when she loses one, it's a great loss.
It is. Now, they say, you know how they say rumor has it that you are the eldest. You may be the eldest Gold Star mom. Do you think that is true?
Not really. I saw some at the convention was a little older than I was.
Okay.
But I don't know who they were, you know.
Right.
But I'm very proud of being a Gold Star mother, and I have been for maybe 65 years.
So the majority of your walk in life as a Gold Star, as a Gold Star mom.
And I'm learning more and more about how a mother really feels. You know, I'm left with scars, but others are still bleeding. You know.
You are left with scars.
Yes.
But others are
still bleeding.
Wow.
So.
Just have to sit in that for a moment.
Oh yes. And it's very heartwarming to know that you can be a comfort to the younger women that has lost their sons and their daughters, and that I can be a catalyst for them and show them that scars really disappear sometimes. They don't always stay available, but you know they're still there.
Yes. So how many years you said?
Approximately 65.
60. That's a lifetime.
Yes.
That's a lifetime. So how have you kept your son's legacy alive, and how have you?
I've kept my son's legacy alive because I believe that it was the fate of him being killed in Korea. I believe it wasn't just an accident or the country that allowed this to happen. I think that God is teaching me and others a lesson that love is the final element.
Love surpasses all.
Yes.
Love surpasses all. Because
Yes.
I remember at one point you shared that you had a vision. I believe at one point you had shared that you had a vision in regard to your son.
Well, when my son was born, it was a miracle, and I think I'm gonna save some of the secret for my book.
Oh,
You know, and the miracle that he was born is a lifetime faith, not only for me, but for others. And I believe that my story,
yes.
particular, not because I'm Edith, because of God's will, that my story will reach across the country because of how God allowed my son to be born and how he died.
Wow.
And I think that it would be a healing to know my story particularly.
Yes, yeah. I mean, just by your very presence is, I can imagine, for other Gold Star moms, is an encouragement. And that, you know, I look at Mother Hines and I look at her journey for over 60 years. And, you know, wherever I am on this journey, but just by looking at her, and her I call it quiet strength. You know, that would encourage other mothers as well to continue their journey, however difficult that journey is, to give them the strength and the courage to continue that journey, because you've done so much over these last 60. First of all, you went on to have a family, and you've been married for how many years?
48
years.
good years.
Good years. To the same man.
Yes, to the same man. Good and bad.
Good and bad. As all journeys.
Yes.
As all journeys.
But it turned out to be excellent.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
yes.
out of bad comes excellent.
Excellent. That's 40. So this is 40-something years sitting right here. This is 40-something years. So we have a few minutes left in this segment, but I want you to share with the audience. I always ask this question for individuals who have been married for a long time. You've been married 40 plus years. Share a word of wisdom to our audience. See that camera? See that camera? Right there? Share a word of wisdom to the audience.
Well, one
on
marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I when I got married, I wanted to be forever.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and of course, to be forever is to, if your husband ever, if he ever wants to leave you, go with it. You know,
Did y'all hear that? If he wants
follow
to leave,
him. Because if there is a woman better than you are, you should take lessons from her.
y'all taking notes. If he ever wants to leave, y'all just go and follow him, cause.
You should take lessons from her.
But there's no one better than you.
I don't say that. I'm trying to even be better.
You
You
be
know.
better than better.
Yes. Even though I can't walk like I want to, I pep up when I see my husband.
Oh, and I believe that. I believe that. She peps up when she sees her husband. We're going to pause right there because we're going to go to break. She's going to pep up because she just saw her husband. But we're going to go to break. We are having a conversation with Gold Star mother, Ms. Edith Hines. I'm so honored to be here with her. We're going to go to break, and when we come back on the flip side, we are going to continue this journey and this conversation with, this is wisdom right here, y'all. I'm Lady Wisdom After Midnight. This is wisdom right here. We'll be back in a few moments. This is My Journey with Paula G. Welcome back to My Journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts that God has given us. We are having a wonderful conversation in this episode with Gold Star mom, Miss Edith Hines. She shared a bit of her journey of how she has become a Gold Star mom of over 60 plus years. And she shared some wisdom, and I hope you heard it in the first segment. If you didn't, you might need to go back. She dropped some knowledge about her gifts and also about being married 40 plus years and some wisdom that she has shared with all of you. And right now she's going to share with us a bit of her journey in regard to writing, because she's a writer and she's written. So tell us a bit about that journey.
I'm so happy to tell this story because I hope that it will encourage those that just give up and don't have any hope. I had an experience while in the Philippines. I was just finished my first book and I wanted to publish it. So on the base was another writer. And she, I heard she had wrote a book. And I thought if I go get some information from her, she would encourage me to finish my work that I had started. So I made an appointment with her to talk about publishing my book. And when I got to her house, we had lunch together, beautiful lunch, and we talked and laughed together, and I was telling her about some of my experience with my son and how he was killed and how I was designed to write this book, which I thought would make history. So she encouraged me and she lifted me, made me laugh, but it came a time when I was ready to go home. She said, well, Edith, you have to go for yourself. And when she said that, all the good things that she said brought tears to my eyes. So she had a little 3 steps. I ran down the steps, and as I was running, tears was falling down my eyes because this was the lady that I thought would lift me. So I ran all the way to the library. I was running and crying. And as I opened the door of the librarian opened the door and she said, come in, you know. She welcomed me, and all of a sudden my attitude changed. I said, I'm a writer and I want to publish a book. And may I have a reading here? And she said, of course.
So you spoke that over yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
So she invited me in her office, and I started talking about my work and what I had been doing for years. And she looked into my eyes, she said, and she picked up the phone. And she called the radio station. And she said, Edith Hines is here and she has a book and she wants to publish it. And I think we should give her a reading on the base. And so when she finished, she had called the television company. She had called everybody on, even the artists, to
So
take
all
my
these doors,
picture.
So all these doors were open?
Yes, at once. All at once. When she finished talking to me, I felt like Oprah Winfrey when I walked out. I didn't understand what God was doing. But did you not know, everywhere I went on base, my name was being told, and the radio was going, and the television was going, and I was meeting celebrities, even Sammy Davis Jr. And Bob Hope, and all of these famous people. But I want to say, God, if God is with you, no one can stop. So young people out there, go for it. If the tears fall, it's all right. That means that you got some running strength.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Because you spoke that over yourself. You said, I am a writer, and you spoke that over yourself. But not only are you a writer, you have your own podcast. And I believe recently you went to the White House to deliver a letter.
Yes.
Because you had a concern. So you've done that as well. You are a poet. You have really just embraced, this whole journey of using the gifts that God has given you and walking in this journey that God has given you. So what are some other pearls of wisdom? You are always so full. Whenever you hear of seated at the feet of wisdom, Mother Hines is a perfect example of that, seated at the feet of wisdom. So just share with us some wisdom, because we've got this time always goes so fast.
Well,
we've got a few minutes to share with us.
My mother, I think she detected that something was special about me. And my father he was slow giving her money, So she thought that my speech would help her get more finance. So one day she really needed some money. And he walked out the house, and I was about 4 years old. And she said, Edith, she said, go and catch your father and ask him to give us some money. So I ran down the street, and I said, Daddy, Daddy. And he turned around and he looked in my little gray eyes, and tears was coming out. I said, we need some money. And he went in his pocket and gave me $1 and gave me $2. I knew I was a poet.
You knew you were a poet.
Yes. Ever since then, I felt that I really could impress people, not just to get what I want, but to get what others wanted.
What others want. Using your words.
Yes.
And how you put your words
and
together.
love.
Yes.
And heart.
Yes.
Putting my heart into it, that it would bring even tears to know that I could do good for others.
Yes, yes. And you have. And you've blessed so many, and you've touched so many. You've encouraged, so many. You have poured into so many. You have been prophetic with so many.
I feel that God, each one of us, that He is using us for His glory. And if we can find the purpose in which God has given us, each one of us have a beautiful, beautiful gift that God can use. And it's so wonderful, and it's so beautiful, and it's so unusual that it's no one like you.
Right.
And you, and you, and you.
Right. So everyone has to utilize their gifts. Everyone has to utilize their gifts.
And if each one of us would realize what God is doing in our life, it would be a better world, and we would be happier.
We sure would. We sure would. Share with the audience your podcast, how they can reach out and find out about your podcast.
I'm very proud of my podcast. I hope that history revealed that I am the oldest podcaster right now.
Y'all might be witnessing the oldest podcaster.
I'm on my 19th episode, and I'm assisted by Zamira Jones. His mother was my best friend, and I just love him and his family, and he's been a great, great blessing to me. And he assists me every time I do have a podcast. And a couple of my podcasts is about the revolving door of the Watergate scandal. And it doesn't condemn anybody, but it gives you hope for today and tomorrow.
And something to think about.
And we don't have to condemn. All we have to do is to pray that God will revolve that door in the right position.
The right direction.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you check out Miss Edith Hines, her podcast. You can look her up on social media. You can Google her name. She's got poetry out there. She's got her spoken word. She's got her book, author. Just a powerful, powerful story.
Right.
Powerful, powerful journey. And I thank you so much for joining us. I thank you so much for being here.
And thank you for such wonderful audience.
Yes, we have a beautiful audience today.
I just thank God for being a part of you and your works that God has given you. And I think we're going to make good time friends.
I think we are too. I think we are too. Thank you all so much for joining us here on My Journey with Paula G. and my guest today, Mrs. Edith Hines. Remember, the greatest conversation that you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation, and are you listening to his still small voice? Until next time, embrace the journey.
Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actor Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastor's Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.